Hey YouTube, this is the art of prepping. Not trying to be a party pooper or someone that's always running down on your parade. But I will tell you, I'm just bringing the facts. And this is the way I know it to be true. This is just me sharing information to help you as much as you may or may not want to hear it. And that's okay. If you don't want to listen to it, that's fine. I'm not telling anyone what to do. And this is for your health and your safety. And I don't get any benefit from this besides me knowing that I did the right thing. Should you store products that have gluten? Absolutely not. Now, why is this such a big deal? Because it's socially acceptable to eat your oatmeal. It sure is very socially acceptable to go and get flour tortillas. It sure is acceptable to have, various different cereals that have, wheat, barley, rye, other things. All kind of foods have that, but they all have gluten. Now, why and what is all about gluten that's so bad? Let me tell you. There's a lot of various aspects, and I am no nutritionist. I have no formal background, but I've done a lot of digging on this over the years. I've spent a lot of time, and I look at very good sources of information. And the way that I can break it down is like this. Your body is under a very heavy stress load. In the digestive system, I should say. So when you consume gluten, which is a very sticky, very like stretchy type of material that gets in the gut when you eat your food and it gets in there. And when it's in the intestines, it kind of just sticks to the walls. It's hard to break down. Well, most people can't even break it down all the way. So it's not really fully digestible. Um, but the thing is, though, it takes a lot of effort and a lot of energy to try to break it down, to try to even metabolize whatever you can of it. And so, for the first off, you're stressing the body out, and you're putting a lot of undue, types of focus of energy on that process of breaking it down. That's not necessary. It's just not needed. And so you also have a lot of people who have reactions to gluten. But even though people sometimes don't have a lot of outward reactions, a lot of times they still are very sensitive to it. So, just because you're not having breaking out in hives or you can't catch your breath or having an outward allergic reaction doesn't mean your body is okay with it. Of course, you can go back in the origins, and I've already talked about this in other videos about the Egyptians and everything, and they started the whole process of eating wheat and stuff, and it wasn't until then that humans even ate that kind of stuff. So, we can go back and talk about all those details, but the fact is, people don't typically want to hear about all that. They just want to know what they should and should not eat for your health, and you should not eat gluten, even if you don't think you have any problems with it. So first of all, once again, it's very difficult, and for most people, it's very hard to digest fully, if not at all. And secondly, though, it gums up all the intakes, all the points that there in the large and small intestines. It really congests it, and it keeps it very difficult to get the nutrients into the intake because it gums it all up. So basically, if you eat a lot of products with gluten, you have a much higher chance being nutrient deficient because you're not getting the nutrition in the food. So this is a major problem, and in my opinion, it's at epidemic levels here in America in particular. Everybody's eating things with wheat in particular. It's wheat, barley, rye, and of course most oats because it's contaminated. And it's because of the facilities and they manufacture oats, they manufacture other things, and it's all cross-contaminated. With the wheat products and the rye and the barley and all this other stuff. There's a lot of things that have gluten. So we have to be mindful of it. Now, this is something that people just don't want to hear. And you don't have to take my advice. You don't have to do anything. But I feel very compelled just to tell you this. You look into it your own self. If you want to look the other way and just pretend that everything is fine, that's your problem. But if you want to put undue stress on your body, if you want to make sure that you have a higher chance of being nutrient deficient, then by all means, eat your gluten. But it is not a good recommendation. This is not a wise thing to do. Look at some of the top nutritionists. Do they eat gluten? No, they don't. People who are in the know. Okay? And so This is not some fad. This is not some, extreme diet or lifestyle that, that'll change next month. This is just like facts. So, so this is my viewpoint. And I just want to also talk about one more thing. When we talk about food and getting full, and I've been seeing this on a few channels recently, with all due respect, when you're full, it's because you have your nutritional means, all your needs nutritionally, taken care of. You're satisfied. So you have your nutrition for your body to function correctly. I'm not sure how else to say that, really. It's just like, when you're full, some people believe it's because you have enough bulk. Now, bulk can actually kind of manipulate your body to think that you should be full. But just because you eat a lot of fiber doesn't mean that you have all your nutrients to actually be satisfied, and that your body's needs for the nutrition is there. And so what'll happen, even if you just keep cramming all that fiber back in your body over and over and over, you'll get hungry faster and faster and faster because your body still didn't get what it needs. It needs basic building blocks, minerals, vitamins, so forth, nutrients, real nutrients, not bulk. And so we get a lot of misinformation on this particular topic because people just say, hey, these are some great bulk type foods for prepping and survival, but they don't have a lot in them. They have some nutrients, but you're not going to really be satisfied very long at all because your body's going to be like, hey, I need more nutrients. I need more raw materials. And you're going to be searching for more, not because you really need more calories potentially or more bulk, but because you need more nutrients. So just wrapping it up here, let's not look at food as just something to stuff in our face and to get full. Food is there to satisfy our needs for our body so we can function. And so it's very clear. It's very easy to think about this in those terms. And so let's not try to make it more complicated than it needs to be. When we're trying to actually get full, we want to eat foods that are nutrient dense, not that has a lot of fiber. So hopefully that cleared that up. And hopefully I wasn't being condescending or anything like that. I'm not trying to be that way at all. I'm just really passionate about some of this stuff. And it just kind of, my head kind of just crooks halfway. I get like a motor tick or something when I hear a lot of this information, or I see people who are, storing large amounts of oats and wheats and barley and rye, and they're telling people to just have a lot of things that have a lot of fiber, and everything is going to be okay. It'll make you full, and you don't need any kind of nutrients really. Just kind of just eat all this, and everything's fine. Everything's not fine. Everything really isn't going to be that easy for a lot of people to get through hard times. And when you add things that actually aren't getting your nutrients, nutritional needs met, and you're putting taxing a large amount of stress on your gut, those are the people who are going to have major problems. Okay. And so there's like different types of preppers out there. Apparently, there's some preppers that have really good intentions, and no doubt about it. Then there's also those preppers that have good intentions, but they don't have the right information, and they just kind of go with what they've always known, and they just go with what society has always known. And as you can see, society is full of a lot of problems. There's a lot of health problems, a lot of epidemic issues like obesity, and you got cancers and all kinds of crap. And so we have to wake up. We have to wake up and quit being, just like, okay, this is how it's always been, and this is how we're going to continue to go. We have to figure out why is there problems? Why is there problems? And so we have to kind of look here a little bit harder and have a little bit more patience and say the big questions, ask those big questions. Is this really the right thing to do? Because I've had to do it. I've had to rechange a lot of my own systems. I'm not going to lie. And just tell you that point blank that over the last several decades, I've come through a lot of transitions, and it's not easy. It doesn't make me feel good, okay? I spent a lot of money over time trying to get things right. But guess what? At least I now know I'm on the right path, and I'm not going to screw myself any further. You have to go through these learning curves. And most people don't like to hear all this. They just want to know when they can get get their big bag of oats on sale. And that's not going to fix all the problems. So anyways, you guys be safe. Store the foods that are good for you, and they're going to get your nutritional needs met. That's going to be the best thing you can do long term. Thank you for watching.